All right, so welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. We are in the session number 79. So we were discussing chapter 8, and last session actually we started chapter 8. We have just begun chapter 8, and in chapter 8 we have covered about 5, 6 verses. We will have a quick glance of those verses again. But before we have the session started today, let's chant the pranam mantras, all of us together. Please join your palms and you can chant along with me the pranam mantras. The pranam mantras will be displayed on the screen. So, all of you kindly join your palms and chant along with me the pranam mantras. This session we will dedicate to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्दा नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्धिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Study Circle. So, in the previous session, we started discussing chapter number 8. Chapter 8 is titled as Attaining the Supreme. Prabhupada has given the title as Attaining the Supreme. So, Krishna is going to give a lot of knowledge about how to attain the Supreme. And that is because Arjuna, in the beginning of the chapter, has asked questions. He has asked 7 questions to Krishna, and in answer to those questions, Krishna has started to explain Arjuna about those things. So, in the third verse, the first 2 verses are Arjuna's questions, and in the third verse, we see that the Lord is giving answers. He said, Aksharam Brahma Paramam Aksharam. Does anyone remember what is Aksharam? Anyone remembers what did we discuss about Aksharam? What is Aksharam?
Prabhuji,
Brahma. Yes,
every akshar, that is every letter, is used to describe the Lord, and that's how it
yes,
was taught in our Vedic culture.
yes. So every letter of the Sanskrit language is actually meant to glorify the Supreme Lord. Anything else that you remember of Aksharam other than that each and every Akshara is representing a certain name of the Lord? Anything else you remember? Does anyone remember where does this different forms of the Lord reside?
Prabhuji, I remember you spoke about Param Aksharam and Aksharam. So, like, Param Aksharam is Krishna himself, and Aksharam is us. Like, it's indestructible, basically. And Param Aksharam is
Yes.
the supreme Aksharam.
Very nice, very good. So, one another meaning of this Aksharam also means that which is indestructible, right? So, Shara means that which comes to an end. Akshara means that which doesn't end. So it is indestructible. So very nice. Okay, another meaning was there for Aksharam. Does anyone remember? So Kshara means destructible. Akshara means that which is indestructible. So this word Aksharam can also be split into another way. Does anyone remember? Aksha. Aksha means senses. Aksharam or Akshara means one who cannot be conceived by these material senses is called Akshara. So, Aksharam has so many different meanings. So, in the Sanskrit language, we start, right? Is the beginning letter. So A is the first letter, and Krishna is going to say that in the 10th chapter that Akshara, that is nothing but me. The starting, the first letter of the language is actually me, Krishna says. Aksha, Ksha is the last letter. So Aksha. So all these 50 letters, Aksharam, Aksha is actually representing the Omkara. Omkara actually is is representing Omkara. The sound vibration represents all these different letters of the Sanskrit language, Aksharam. So Omkara has all these different letters. Very, very powerful it is. That's why Omkara, you see any Vedic mantra, it begins with Omkara. Omkara is the Vedic mantra, and every other mantra begins with Omkara. And the Pranava Omkara is again the representation of the Lord, the sound representation of the Lord. It is very nicely said that all the yogis generally they chant the Omkara. Anybody, Omkara is a very powerful name. ओंकार संयुक्त ओंकार बिंदु संयुक्तम नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनः कामदं मोक्षदं चैव ओंकाराय नमो नमः. So there are prayers for Omkara also, because Omkara also is the sound representation of the Lord. So people, we give our respects, we pay our respects to the sound vibration Omkara. So, in our general practice today, we are not able to chant Omkara appropriately. We cannot chant because of so many impurities in Kali Yuga. That is why The same Omkara, Pranava Omkara, is represented by the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra actually includes the Omkara. So when you're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is as good as chanting Omkara also. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra is much, much more powerful now in Kali Yuga. It is much more powerful than the Omkara also. Although the Omkara is the Vedic mantra, but Hare Krishna Mahamantra includes the Omkara and much more. So that is why this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is specifically recommended for the Kali Yuga people. It is extremely powerful. So, because Omkara is only to be chanted by the people who are Brahmanically qualified, not everyone can chant Omkara. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of his causeless mercy, 500 years ago, he appeared on this planet and he said, okay, so now for this Kali Yuga people, I will inaugurate the Yuga Dharma. What is that Yuga Dharma? The Yuga Dharma is the chanting of the holy names. So 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he inaugurated this Yuga Dharma. Every Yuga has a Dharma. A specific Yuga Dharma is there for every Yuga. So it is said in the scriptures, Kriteya Dhyato Vishnum Tretayam Mejato Makai Dwapare Paricharyayam Kalautat Harikirtana. So in Satya Yuga, it is Dhyana Yoga. In Treta Yuga, it was big, big yagnas. And then in Dwapar Yuga, it is big temple worship. And in Kali Yuga, Kalautat Harikirtana. Harikirtana is the only way to achieve the Supreme Lord, the Supreme goal. And this is the Yuga Dharma. So, Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga was inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago. And who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is none other than Krishna himself. In fact, it's a combination of Radha and Krishna. Both Radha Krishna, in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they appeared and inaugurated this Yuga Dharma. So that is why it is a prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that this Yuga Dharma, this chanting of the holy names, it will spread every town and village of the globe. It is not going to stop. It is going to continue. It is going to spread across the world. This holy name cannot be stopped now because it's a Yuga Dharma. So we have to take advantage of this Yuga Dharma, and that is the Sankirtan Yajna. It is extremely powerful. So why there is so much of stress given is because sound vibration can either bind us or it can also liberate us. Material sound vibration, it will bind us. Spiritual sound vibration, it can liberate us. If you keep on listening to all the material songs, this film songs, or any other material music, it may be very soothing. It can be very nice to hear, pleasant to hear. But if it is a material sound which is not glorifying the Lord, which actually all the letters are supposed to meant to glorify the Lord, and it is not, then what happens is that is a material sound vibration. Then that when you hear, that sound vibration will slowly create attachments. You will get attached to those material things. Just for example, advertisements, you see. What is advertisement? Advertisement is nothing but it is a material sound vibration. So again and again and again and again, when the advertisement is seen by us, constantly we hear that sound vibration of an advertisement, then what happens is we slowly develop some sort of attachment to that particular product, that object, or whatever it is. And then we tend to buy, we get that impulse to buy a certain thing. Why? Because constantly it is being heard by us over a period of time. And moment we see that product, that trigger is pressed, and then we go and purchase that particular object or a product. You see, this is what happens. So what's happening now? This is material sound vibration. So if you constantly feed the spiritual sound vibration, that is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then what happens is, then anywhere, any object, anything that you see, it will only remind us of the Supreme Lord. We see everything in connection with the Lord because we are constantly in touch with the sound vibration. So Aksharam now is very powerful, especially in this Kali Yuga. So we should take advantage of this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Krishna, like this, has been explaining so many things now. Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavot Dhyatmam Uchyate Bhuta Bhavot Bhavakaro Visargat karma samgnitaha. So, like that, he went on to speak another few more verses, and then he also explained about, we understood about Adi Bhutam, then Adi Daivam, then Adi Yagnam. So, all these different aspects we have understood in the previous verse. Then in 8.5, now this is very interesting, which I we should definitely discuss a little bit more, although we touched upon 8.5, where Krishna said, antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram yap prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samshayaha. So, antakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. So, this is extremely important. So, you see, what Krishna is saying here, whoever at the point of death, if he quits his body remembering me alone, at once attains my nature, of this there is no doubt. You see, what is Krishna saying? Madbhavam yah prayati samadbhavam. So, madbhavam means, many people think that, oh, I will also become like Krishna, Madbhavam. So many people, especially the Mayavadis, they always take advantage of such words. They are waiting for such kind of words. And then, moment they get these things, they will become very excited. Oh, yes, see, Krishna himself is saying that if you, at the point of death, remember that Lord, then he or we, all of us, can also become like Krishna. That means we can also become God. Madbhavam means that is how they think about. So, we should always remember that there is no question of we becoming God. This again and again we have to remind us, is because the the potency of the Lord and the potency of the soul is very, very different. The super soul and the soul, they are very, very different. Just like you cannot say the orange seed and the apple seed, they both are seeds, but doesn't mean that one can replace the other, right? It is impossible, because each one of them are unique. This cannot be same. The seeds of one fruit cannot be the same as another fruit. They're totally distinct. Just like the seeds of apple and orange cannot be same, similarly the soul and the super soul, they are not equal, they are completely different. So we should not make that mistake of thinking ourselves to be God, or we will become God, because nobody can become God. God is always God. So today, many people propagate these kind of ideas. Oh, see, prayati samadbhavam. What is that madbhavam? Madbhavam means, basically, Prabhupada is saying here, you will acquire the nature of the Lord. Nature of the Lord is what? Sat Chit Ananda is the nature of the Lord. So right now, although we are also Sat Chit Ananda in a minute quantity, and that minute quantity is again influenced by the external energy of the Lord, that is Maya. So we are unable to experience that Satchid Ananda in its full potential. So, if you want to experience Satchidananda in its full potential, then Krishna is saying, Antakale chamam eva. You see, if you remember me at the point of death, then it is possible. Now, Antakale cha mam eva smaran. That smaran will not come at Antakala automatically. You need to do a lot of practice. And I told you last time that only the resultant thought will come at the point of death. The resultant of all the thoughts that you have actually had in your lifetime will automatically come at the point of death, because that is how it functions. Our consciousness, our mind functions that way. So, if you start practicing, you start training your mind from now, then at the point of death, there is a hope that we will be able to remember the Lord. It's extremely important. And there is also one more thing that we should know, that not everybody will be able to remember the Lord at the point of death. This Maran, this remembering of the Lord or remembrance of the Lord doesn't come so easily. Now, in the whole creation, when the Lord has created so many living entities, the living entities are also categorized. Broadly speaking, they are categorized in three ways, three basic ways. Many acharyas have also explained this. So, what are the three categories? Category A, category B, category C. The category A people are those who are Nitya Siddhas, means they are already liberated, means they have understood the Swarupa, they have understood that they are self realized. So, such people, they take happiness in their own swarupa. They are so self-satisfied, they are so happy that their happiness is not dependent on anything external and anything that is material. That is because of that self-realization. They are completely satisfied, they are in constantly touch with the Supreme Lord, they have understood the true nature, and that is why they are totally happy. That is category A. And there is another category B, the living entities who understand that yes, there is a spiritual nature, but then with that understanding, they still have the experiences of sukha and dukha. They experience sukha and dukha because still they are not fully perfected. They are following some sadhana, and due to which they know that yes, ultimately spirituality will give me that true happiness, but still they have not achieved that complete perfection. So that is why in that state they have this sukha and dukkha, the experiences. This is category B. And then there is category C where they experience only dukkha. There is lot of dukkha there, especially if you go to the hellish planets. So there is a lot of problem. Always they are continuously experiencing dukkha. The whole body is designed to experience dukkha. Very yatana sharira it is called. Yatana Sharira means continuously there is pain there. Lot of pain is there. So that is category C. Why? Because of the papa that they have done. So now this is a kind of a lab testing for us. When we want to test something, some chemicals or anything, we have lab tests, right? So similarly, this is like a lab test for us. Where do we belong? Which category do we belong? Whether A, B, or C. Since we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we are sadhakas. So we fall in the B category right now because we are experiencing sukha of Krishna consciousness. At the same time, there is some dukkha because of some material attachments. So slowly, gradually, we should shift our consciousness from category B to category A. That is possible by practice. Very much possible. Right? So Antakale, so Krishna is giving actually a hint here. He's saying that it is a very big secret, actually. Very big secret. He's actually giving us the solution to get out of this maze, this material maze. That's a wonderful Antakale. You just remember me and you can actually get out of the maze. But what if you do not remember me at the point of death? Then you think something else. Then what will happen? That also Krishna is explaining in the next verse, that is 8.6. So here Krishna is saying, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. So what is that? Krishna is saying that whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Oh my God, this is very dangerous now. So last session, I gave you that example of anybody remembers which example?
Bharat Maharaj, who remembered the deer.
Exactly. So what happened to Bharat Maharaj? You see, Bharat Maharaj, who was a great emperor, and he had actually given up all the kingdom, everything. He was in the forest doing a lot of meditation, doing his sadhana. But then he got attached to this fawn, this deer, and then he was so attached that he could not eat, he could not sleep, he could not go anywhere without this deer. And then once when he was not able to find this deer, he was searching, and then uh, he met in an accident, and then you see, At the point of death, he remembered deer, and then next life he had to take the birth of a deer. It's a very dangerous situation. So, if Bharat Maharaj, with that kind of or that level of sadhana, can get attached to something material, then what to speak of us? Does this mean that we have no hopes? No, there is hope. There is a lot of hope. But we should practice. It is not easy, but it is very much possible. But there are a lot of systems, there are a lot of things that goes on. What is that? We will understand. There is another very nice example. Once I had heard this from a devotee long time back. Maybe it was a folk tale. There was a ashrama, and in that ashrama there was a guru and lot of disciples, his shishya. All of these people used to do prayers every single day. So one day, they were all praying. And you see in the ashram nearby, generally they'll have lot of plants, trees, and there were a lot of trees bearing a lot of fruits. So during the prayer, it so happened that the guru, he actually focused on one goa fruit, that peru they say, goa. And it was very ripe and it was looking very sweet. And during the prayers, actually, this guru, he focuses on this fruit which was so ripe, and he gets the desire, oh, it's so nice, we should actually, I want to taste it. And then what happened, while he was actually thinking like that, he actually left his body antakale. Immediately he dropped down dead. And everyone, all the shishya, there was a chaos, and that all halla gulla was going on. And then everybody were so attached to their guru. They were praying, they were chanting, and all the commotion was there. And now, when all this was going on, this commotion was going on. A little later, a great sage, he happened to pass through that ashrama, and then he comes and talks to all these different shishyas, and then all the shishyas, they explain what happened. And then all the disciples, they were very eager to know the destination of their guru, because he was a great ardent devotee, and their guru was such a nice devotee. They wanted to know what was the destination of our guru. And they asked this particular question to the sage, the traveling sage who was passing by. And this rishi, he was very powerful. So when he sat into meditation, and he was contemplating on what had happened, the disciples were very eager to know, where is their guru now? And then this rishi, he opens his eyes, and all the disciples, they say, sir, can you please tell us, where is our guru now at this moment? And then the rishi says, your guru is there on that fruit. He has become an insect and is now eating that fruit. You see? And all the Shishyas, they were all very confused. What is this Rishi saying? And the Rishi says, yes, actually, while the prayer was going on, your guru actually thought about eating this particular fruit, and now he's born as an insect, and he's now enjoying that fruit as an insect. You see? So anytime anything can happen. Very dangerous situation it is, isn't it? So we should be very careful. So if you want to constantly remember the Lord, then it requires practice, and you need to update your mind always. Just like you see, every night, your WhatsApp gets updated, right? You set whatever time. I set my time as 2 a.m. in the morning. All the WhatsApp messages and everything, chats, everything is updated. It automatically takes a backup. It updates. So similarly, there are a lot of system softwares and other things that we use in our mobile phones or laptops, any gadgets. They require some updates constantly, right? Whenever the updates are there, we update them to use the latest features. So similarly, we should also keep updating our consciousness by updating our mind with Krishna consciousness. So, when you constantly are chanting the holy names of the Lord, mantra, then what is happening? The mantra is actually updating your mind constantly with Krishna consciousness again and again and again. Every day, 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What is happening? Constantly you're getting updated, updated, updated. Your mind is getting updated with spirituality, lot of Krishna consciousness, right? So then, at the point of death, we will be able to understand and remember Krishna. Not so easy otherwise. It is not so easy. Every day, we have to chant our rounds. Extremely important. Most people, they don't know the secret. What is the secret? The secret that next life, we can decide what we want to become. See? Most people are not aware. They think that this is the life and just eat, enjoy, drink, marry, that's all. They don't know that they can actually decide what their next life can be. They don't think about this. Such a great, secret this is. Just imagine you have full control, at least to greater extent, you know that what kind of a body you want in the next life. Because Krishna is saying, MM Vapismaran Bhavam Tejatante Kaleram. Whatever you want, you can become. You think of that and you will become that in the next life. That is the meaning. Whatever you think, you will become that. Right? You are what you think. So, of course, Bible is saying you are what you eat, but I'm just changing it a little bit. You are what you think. So, now what do you want to become in the next life? Let me see who else is there. So Uma Kumar is there, Dev is there. Okay, Hina Mataji. What do you want to become in the next life?
Prabhuji, I don't want any next life, Prabhuji. This life is more than sufficient. If I serve to Krishna sufficiently, that is more than Prabhuji.
That's a great, very nice. Okay, so you don't want to become anything.
Yes,
You
Prabhuji.
don't want any body only. You want to get
Yes,
liberated. What
yes,
about
Prabhuji.
others? What do you want to become in the next life? See, though so many, Dev is saying same. Don't want next life. Enough is enough. Material world, so much it is full of dukha. So don't want the next life. Very precarious condition. What about Hina Mataji? What do you want to become, Mataji?
Prabhuji, I also want the same, but I don't know whether what is my balance of karma. So even if I have to come back, I certainly want to only be Krishna conscious, whatever I
That's
may be.
exactly. That's a key point. That's a good way of putting it because most of the time we are not aware what we will become. It's not very clear to us because many times there are situations which are not in our control, but it is in the control of Krishna. For example, you just see, I'll give you this very just thinking itself of this particular system that is created by the Lord itself gives a kind of a romanchana just by thinking about it. Suppose if there is someone who has just 11 more lives in this material world, 11 lives, okay? Now, he is a devotee now, and he's going to be a devotee in the next life. He's going to be the devotee in the next third life, fourth life, fifth life, until 10th life. In the 11th life, also, he'll become a devotee. But he will not get liberated in the first 10 lives. Krishna is patiently waiting. Although he is a devotee, Krishna will not give him remembrance until 10 lives. Only in the 11th life, when everything is about to get over, then Krishna, at the point of that, Krishna will remember, give him that remembrance. Antakale chasmaran bhava. So that Antakale, that remembrance also should come from the Lord. It's not that, okay, I have done a lot of sadhana, I have done so much of tapasya, and I have done a lot of devotional service. Now it is the duty of Krishna that he has to give me remembrance. No, it's not like that. Krishna has a lot of other calculations also. So Krishna is constantly watching our prarabdha karma because once you get initiated, then all your Other karma is washed off. But your prarabdha karma, which is still there in the consciousness, that Krishna will utilize. Now that Krishna knows, okay, his prarabdha karma may continue, okay, for the next 2 lives or 3 lives or 4 lives. He knows. So he will accordingly use that. Although prarabdha karma is that karma which is designated for this lifetime. But using this prarabdha karma, we are again accumulating a lot of karma also. We are doing a lot of activities. So that in turn will create some amount of karma balance. Then what happens is this Krishna will utilize. He will utilize in a proper way. Although you are a devotee, he will say, no problem. You have to take another few more lives. You take lives and then you become Krishna conscious, like Hina Mataji said. Yes, you are a devotee now, but you will not get liberated. You will be born as a devotee again next, and then you will make others devotees. You will make others devotees, and you will become you will take another life. You will make more devotees. You will make more devotees. You will do a lot of devotional activity. Then slowly the prarabdha will get over, and then finally Krishna knows when to give you that remembrance at the point of death. Which lifetime he has to give you that remembrance, that Krishna knows very well. That is not in our hands. It is not so straightforward when Krishna is saying that, okay, Antakalecha, anybody remembers. It's not so easy. It's not so simple. Even Bhishma Pitamaha, when Bhishma, such a great devotee, there is nothing about dharma that Bhishma doesn't know. And anything that he doesn't know, that is not dharma. That is the power of Bhishma Pitamaha. He has given 525 years of his life only studying the Vedas and all the dharmic principles. I have explained this to you before also, that Bhishma was a very learned scholar, a great devotee of the Lord. And then when he was at the point of death, lying down on the Sharapanjara, on the bed of arrows, he was having Krishna right before him. There are acharyas who have also commented who say that, oh, Bhishma, although such a great devotee with so much of dharma into him, so much of pious activity and devotional service, still he did not get liberated. He had to take some more life. Because he, in his previous life, was actually one of the Ashtavasus. And he had some duties, roles, and responsibilities there also. You see? So Krishna knows when to give liberation to whom. But that doesn't mean we will not do our devotional activity. We will continue doing our devotional activity irrespective of the result. Now, ideally, we should try to wind up this lifetime itself. That is possible because Krishna is very fond of Prabhupada. And Prabhupada has said that if you follow everything that I have told, if you sincerely follow the Guru, then on the recommendation of Guru, that is Prabhupada, we can actually go back to whom? Back to Godhead in this lifetime itself. Because Prabhupada is taking in charge, because he is taking that responsibility. So then, by the mercy of Guru, Krishna will accept, okay, this jiva is sanctioned for liberation. That will happen. So that is why pleasing the Guru and having a Guru is so important, extremely important in one's spiritual life. Without Guru, there is no question of spiritual life actually. Without a spiritual master, there is no question of adhyatma. This all self-made adhyatma is not going to work. Our process is actually to follow the Guru Parampara system. We should follow the Guru. We should accept a Guru. Because that is how, through this channel of Guru Parampara, Krishna will accept us. So important it is when we are so fortunate that we have come in contact with Prabhupada, who is in a parampara, and directly giving us this Yuga Dharma. He has given us this Yuga Dharma. So this is actually one of the greatest fortune that we have come across in our lifetime. This is not so easy. If you see, there are so many people who are selling all the peanuts on the streets, and there will be hundreds and thousands of people who come and buy those peanuts. But if you go and see the crowd in the diamond shops, there'll be hardly few people, 1 or 2 people. Why? Because it's very valuable. So, just like that, all of you are Very, very few chosen people who are actually getting the diamond. Not everybody gets this. There are so many millions of people. Not everybody gets. So this we need to understand, and we should take it more seriously and push it forward. We should never become stagnant now. This lifetime, let us become more intensive in our spiritual life. Bhakti yoga should become more tivra. Tivrena bhakti yogena. That is needed. Intensifying our bhakti is needed. And that intensifying is possible with little tapasya. What is that tapasya? Following Ekadashi properly, chanting properly every day, taking prasadam only every day. Then what happens? Slowly our bhakti will become intensified. So this is very essential, very, very important. So tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tat bhava bhavitaha. Then automatically people who remember anything else, they will acquire that particular nature. So that is the state of the people. So let us today chant another verse. This was important, so I had to touch upon some of these points. So we'll chant verse number 7. So Dave, you can unmute yourself and let us chant the seventh verse today.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is one of the very important words. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु
मामनुस्मर युध्य च
माम् अनुस्मरयुध्य च
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्
मयि अर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्
मामे वैश्यसि असंशयः.
मामे व्यस्यसि असंशयः.
Again, तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु
मामनुस्मर युध्य च
मामनुस्मरयुध्य च
मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्
मयि अर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्
मामे वैश्यसि संशयः.
मामे व्यस्यसि असंशयः.
Wonderful. Please read the translation.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, we should in fact memorize this verse. It's very important verse. So, Krishna is saying here that tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Sarveshu kaleshu, you should anusmara. It is not that, okay, I will remember Krishna every Sunday from 11 to 12. Only 1 hour I'll remember. No, no, I will chant every day and that's my time for remembering Krishna. No. While having prasadam, I'll remember Krishna. It's not like that. No, no, only while having prasadam, only while going out, I will remember Krishna. No. Sarveshu kaleshu. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. Then Krishna is saying, Ma manusmara yudhyacha. So this is the instruction for all those people who are, especially grihasthas, and all the people who are working. So you cannot get rid of your responsibilities. You have to do your respective duties, do your prescribed duties, but you remember me. Oh Arjuna, you are a fighter. So you should fight, but while fighting, you remember me. So you are a software engineer. So you remember me while coding. You are a cook. So while cooking, you remember me. So no matter what activity you're doing, you should remember Krishna. So doesn't mean to remember Krishna, we should actually go to the forest, we should go somewhere deep within in silence, and then we should meditate on Krishna. Nothing of that sort. Krishna is very practical. He understands our situation and he's saying that you should remember me while you are actually doing everything else. So no matter what you are actually doing, you should remember Krishna. And we will come to a perfection where even in the Swapnavastha, you will start remembering and having dreams of Krishna. Even in Shushupti, you will be conscious of Krishna. That is self-realized soul. So, if we practice properly in the Jagrata Avastha, there are three avasthas, right? Jagrata Avastha, Swapna Avastha, and Shushupti. So, if we practice properly, perfectly, remembering Krishna in the Jagrata Avastha, then it is possible that you will slowly start dreaming about Krishna also in the Swapnavastha. Then slowly the Shushupti will vanish because in the deep state of your sleep, we forget everything. But then when you become fully Krishna conscious, then there is no question of forgetfulness. Even in the deep sleep, that is self-realized soul. He will never forget. That is the state that we are supposed to acquire. Sarveshu Kaleshu, 24 hours, 24 bar 7, you are remembering Krishna. So, Mai Arpita Mano Buddhir Mam Evaishya Samshaya. So now, okay, all right, that you are telling us to actually remember Krishna all the time, that is 24 bar 7, but how do we do that? Correct? How do we remember Krishna all the time? So Krishna is saying, Mai arpita mano buddhir. You first learn how to engage your mind and intelligence in the service of Krishna. Because only when our mind and intelligence is absorbed, then sarveshu kaleshu anusmara will happen. Otherwise, it is not going to happen. So now the question comes, how do I engage my mind and buddhi all the time in the service of the Lord? One thing is for sure is chanting the holy names. What else can we do? All those things we should understand. That's why practicing sadhana is important. Every moment, if you have to remember or engage your mind in Krishna consciousness, you should learn how to regulate the senses. Senses are lower than the mind. So start from there. Start from the senses, regulate them properly. Then mind will automatically come in control. Then buddhi will automatically fall in place. Automatically. Although it is supposed to be the top-down approach, but because we are materially conditioned, we first begin from regulating all our senses. Then slowly mind will get regulated. See, we are thinking, but not thinking about Krishna. We are thinking always about something else. Many people, they're constantly always thinking about money. Even in the dream, Swapnavastha also, they are only dreaming about money only. Who knows, maybe they are so conscious of money that even in the Shushupti, deep sleep, they'll be only conscious of money. Right? So that is very much possible. So, what is happening? We, instead of remembering Krishna all the time, we are not remembering Krishna, we are actually thinking of something else. We are remembering something else. Now, we have to redirect it. Now, you see, for example, we are so attached to the mobile phones. That attachment is so intense. From a small baby to a grown up, today everyone is actually using mobile phones, isn't it? Everybody is hooked onto the mobile phone. You see, even small babies today, if they are crying, what the mothers do? The mothers will take the mobile phone and show them some music, some cartoon, something like that. And see, even the child now is actually getting slowly attached from the childhood itself to the mobiles. Old grown up people also, although they don't want all the sophisticated applications and all those things, still they are now hooked onto the mobile phone. At least now they can use WhatsApp and few other simple basic apps, right? So everybody is now talking about going digital. They want to go digital. All digital cash, digital passports, everything is going to go digital, right? Everything is happening. So that There is another campaign that goes on. Okay, go digital, go green, because you don't want to waste paper. Now become digital. So a lot of digitalization is happening, right? Now smart cities are coming up, and all these things are happening. Why? Because why this is growing? Why we get attached to these gadgets, and why we get attached to this particular type of thinking is because the base of all this is we want to connect with people. Why mobile phones we require? Basically, we want to connect with people. Now we are able to connect with people. It is saving us time and is also saving a lot of labor work. So what is happening? Why that attachment is coming to the mobile phones? Please understand what is the base. Why we are all hooked on to these mobile phones? Because it is helping us to connect with people. It is actually saving our time. It is also saving a lot of labor work, and all these factors are contributing for your attachment. Now just imagine if the same thing we adapt, the system we adapt for Krishna consciousness, then what will happen? Slowly, just like we cannot live without mobile phones, there will be a time that we will not be able to live without Krishna, right? If you know how to connect everything to Krishna, because basically connecting people gives us joy. We are able to connect with people, near and dear ones, that gives us happiness. So if you are able to connect with everything in the world around you, in the environment, to Krishna, then actually you are going to get attached to Krishna. Now just imagine, yes, by Krishna consciousness you can save a lot of time. How can we save a lot of time? Can anyone explain me? How can we save time by becoming Krishna consciousness or remembering Krishna? How can we save time? Can anyone think of? See, mobile phones we use, okay, it is able to connect, we are able to connect with people, and it saves a lot of time.
Yes, Prabhuji, everything will happen very easily and very smart way, Prabhuji.
Really?
Yes, Prabhuji. I am means while starting work, I pray for some time, chanting for some time, Prabhuji. Afterwards, I
Okay.
don't know, means I won't concentrate other things. I will concentrate to only work. That is happening to me, Prabhuji.
Good, very nice. So, what happens? It is experienced by many devotees actually, and Uma Kumar is right. Because what happens is when you start chanting, when you practice spirituality, actually you become very focused. Even in your material work, you become very focused. So, that work which was taking about 7 to 8 hours, now you can actually finish it up in just 5 to 6 hours. You will reduce the time by an hour or two. That is one way that you save time. Anything else that you can explain or anything that you can think of? How can we save time by actually becoming Krishna conscious?
Prabhuji, we are less distracted, so we are wasting less time.
Okay, so now what happens is because you are engaged constantly in the service of the Lord, or thinking of the Lord, and your other distractions have reduced. So, because other distractions are reduced, you will save a lot of time. Now you know that you can be productively engaged somewhere else. So the distractions of so many other things have gone, and that in turn has become a very good productive work for you, productive time for you. So these are good examples. There is no distraction, and then you become more focused. Another very important thing is, imagine when you become Krishna conscious, you adapt this system of becoming Krishna consciousness, you become very perfectly Krishna conscious. Then instead of taking life again and again and again for many, many times, if you perfect your life by Krishna consciousness, instead of 100 more lifetimes, you are now going to reduce it to only maybe two or three, or maybe just one, and then go back to home, back to Godhead. So, so much of this time is gone. I mean, it is just saved, and you are directly jumping on. Just imagine so many lifetime lifetime of times, lifetimes of time is actually saved just by becoming Krishna conscious. You don't have to take repeated births many, many times. So that way also you are saving time by becoming Krishna conscious. You just see, so interesting it is. So one is you are able to connect everything to Krishna. Second is you are actually saving a lot of time. And then what happens is there is no labor work involved. You should actually be thankful that in this Krishna conscious philosophy that we have got, this process, it is not very laborious like the other processes, like going to the jungle, like this Ashtanga yoga, or performing big, big yagnas. Very difficult. We cannot do all those things. Temple worship, not so easy. You can understand, even at home, when you have small deities, there is so much work to do. So, all these things take a lot of time and energy, but here you reduce a lot of unnecessary labor work just by chanting the holy names, connecting with Krishna. See, so many things gets reduced. So, if you think Krishna consciousness process in this way, it will help all of you very practically. Please understand why you are using mobile phone, because of these base things, because your needs, these basic needs are getting fulfilled. So similarly, if you train your mind and understand that this is the need, that Krishna being every the part of everything that I do, then automatically you will get attached to him. 10, 15 years ago, did we really realize that we will become so attached to the mobile phones? No, right? 10, 15 years ago, hardly anybody used mobile phones so intensely. But now everybody is using because they understand the need of it. So if you also understand the need of Krishna consciousness, then automatically your attachment will increase, just like we have attachment for the mobile phones, right? But right now, today, we are getting just into this civilization where people don't even think about themselves. They are so engrossed in thinking about work or about so many other distractions, like Mataji said, that they don't have time for themselves. When they are in the office, they're constantly thinking of home. Oh, did I lock my home properly? Did I put the keys properly? Did I lock my money and everything properly? Did I keep the gas stove everything off or not? At office they are thinking about the home, and then when they come home they are constantly thinking about the office. They're thinking that, oh, whether did I lock the door properly or not? Did I close all the files properly or not? You see all these different things. So what is happening? Either you are thinking of the home, your office, or many other things, and you don't have time to think about yourself. This is a very precarious condition of the today's modern so-called modern society, isn't it? It's very difficult in this situation. People are visiting so many psychiatrists today because they're confused. They don't know what they have to do. So there was this one patient who was so disturbed in his mind. So he goes to a psychiatrist and then he explains his problem. He tells the psychiatrist, see, actually, I'm not getting sleep properly. Oh, is it? You're not getting sleep? Yes. What are the problems? I'm not able to eat properly. I'm not feeling hungry at the night. So I'm just going to bed without eating anything. Then this problem, that problem, he went on, and the doctor is asking him, and then he's going on. And then finally, the doctor had a list of about 58, 60 symptoms. 60 symptoms of different problems that he's undergoing. Then the doctor asked, do you really think all these problems belong to you? Are you really experiencing all this? Yes, 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 doctor. Actually, these are all the problems that I'm experiencing. This is the problem that I'm going through. Then the doctor said, okay, I have only one powerful solution for you. Oh, he was very, very happy. He thought that maybe uh, this doctor will give me some medicine. Maybe it might be expensive because it's going to be only one solution and such a powerful thing. So it will eradicate all my problems. Just one solution and all the problems. So he was very, very excited. And then he said, please tell me the solution. The doctor said the solution is very simple. Every day, anytime, when you face any of these problems, you should count from 100 to 1 backwards. 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, 95. So anytime you face this problem, you count from 100 to 1 and all your problems will get resolved. And this person was so happy. Oh, finally I got a doctor, a psychiatrist who can now solve my problem. And people are going like that. And don't you think that this is going on in today's world? Many such solutions are given by psychiatrists, similar kind of psychiatrists. I'm just paraphrasing this, but I'm just telling you that these kind of solutions are given. Why these solutions are given? Because there is no psychiatrist in the world who can open up the mind and he can operate the mind and he can fix it. Is there anybody like that who can do it? It's not possible. It's not like, you open up the heart and you operate and you fix it. No. First of all, they don't even understand the mind and they give this kind of solutions. Now, how easy will that be if you just chant the mantra, the same counting process? Instead of counting numbers, you count the holy names of the Lord. And how wonderful it is. You see the system that the Vedic culture has given? You count, but you count the holy names. So when you count the holy names, your mind will automatically be controlled. You will get rid of all this unnecessary psychiatric problem that we have, isn't it? The mind problems that we have. So, this system that our Vedic scriptures have given is actually to be followed. When we have faith in all these mundane solutions of the so called psychiatrist, then why not have complete belief in the scriptures who are giving us wonderful solutions to overcome all the different problems of our mind? Isn't it? But no, we are so busy. We are only thinking that, okay, we are all very technologically advanced now, and all this technology is only going to help us. In fact, the technology is making us more and more dumb. Today, people are so dumb. They are becoming lazy. Why? Because now there is Alexa, there is Siri, there is Bixby. God knows what more, so many things. Many people are coming. They want anything, okay, Alexa, play this song, they'll say. Then Siri, you find something. Then now they advertise also, no? अभी बोलने से सब कुछ मिलता है. Google ad is there. So what is happening is, see, I said बोलने से सब कुछ मिलता है Google, and immediately my Google.
There is a lot going on in the world today. I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Can you see my mobile phone is speaking to me right now? You can imagine the kind of situation that we are in. I speak about Google and she opens up. Getting the point? So our mind is surrendered to all these different gadgets. We have surrendered to all these material things. Right? Krishna is saying, Mai arpita mano buddhir. He's saying you surrender your mind and intelligence to me. Mai arpita. But what are we doing? We are surrendering our mind and buddhi to all these different gadgets. Some unknown Alexa, some unknown Siri, Bixby, whatever it is. Isn't it? So, this is our situation. So, I will share one solution, one of the solutions. If you want to remember Krishna all the time, if you have this urge to remember Krishna all the time, then there's one simple solution, and that is to learn how to pray. We should learn how to pray. We don't even know how to pray these days. So, the simple method to follow is actually learn how to pray by imitating the great devotees. Like we have the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, we have the prayers of Shukadev Goswami, we have the prayers of Dhruv Maharaj, we have the prayers of Kunti Devi, right? So if you take the prayers of all these exalted devotees and learn them, understand them, and see the mood of those prayers, then you will be able to remember Krishna. It will help you in remembering Krishna. You will understand how to devote our mind and surrender our buddhi to Krishna. That is possible. So learn the prayers of exalted devotees. Then that will also give you an idea based on your personality, based on your consciousness, based on your feelings. You can also customize and have your own prayers to the Lord. It is good to have your own prayers, regular prayers. You can form your prayer. You know what is best for you. You create a prayer for yourself. So that is very nice. And then it becomes more personal when you have your own prayer. It becomes very personal. Now, in our scriptures, Rupa Goswami has given uh, the types of prayers. There are many different types of prayers. The basic, broadly speaking, there are three major. Of course, there are 10 types of prayers. But then the top three, uh, I just have some names. It is Samprartatmika. Samprartatmika means Samprartatmika prayer, which means it is a prayer with lot of feelings. A lot of great acharyas in our parampara, they have written a lot of songs, very beautiful songs with lot of bhava, with lot of devotion. They have written the prayers. So you will understand the mood of that prayer. So if you can also, with feelings, Samprartatmika prayer it is called. Feelings, with feelings when you pray, it is called Samprartatmika prayer. The second is Dainabodhika prayer. Dainabodhika prayer means that which is a prayer with lot of humility. In the temple early morning when we sing the song Arti, Darshanarti, the Shringar Arti, we sing पतित पावन हेतु तव अवतार मौसम पतित प्रभु न पाइबे आरा. So Narottam Das Thakur, I think he sings this very beautiful song that oh my Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you are patita pavana tava avatara. You have taken avatar because you want to purify all the patita, all the fallen souls. Mosama patita prabhu na paibe ara. But I am so patita, I'm most fallen that I may not get your receive your prayer. I may not receive your mercy. Mosama patita prabhu na paibe ara. So he's taking that humble position. His prayer is in that mood of humility. So it is like a Daina Bodhika prayer. Then there is Lalasatmika prayer also. Lalasa means greed. Greed means now it is generally thought to be very negative, but here devotees they express the greediness for Krishna consciousness. The greed is so much that they want Krishna at every moment. The gopis, they used to have this kind of prayers. The Gopi Gita is in this particular mood. Of course, it is much beyond that, but basically, you can understand what I mean. That basically they had that greed to have Krishna all the time. So there are many such examples of different prayers. In fact, how to pray itself can be a session. It is very important because every day when we have our own customized prayers for the Lord, which are in line with the prayers of the great exalted personalities, the acharyas, then what happens is we learn how to connect with Krishna. We learn how to be with the Lord all the time. And this will help us to remember Krishna all the time. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. When you have your own customized prayer, it will help you to connect with Krishna very easily. So this one solution you can adopt, and this will really help. It will work. Very important. Generally, morning, I try to have my own prayers, not very elaborate or something like that. But when I do my regular puja, I have a certain way of praying to the Lord, and I can improvise again. There is always the scope for improvisation, but you begin somewhere. Some prayers you can always have so that it will help you to remember Krishna all the time in a specific way, in the mood that it is more closer to you, your consciousness. Because everybody has their own ways to pray to Krishna, right? Each one of us are individuals. No two souls will have the same level of consciousness. We'll have different consciousness. So different moods also. Even if you have the same consciousness, the moods will be different to connect with Krishna. So that mood, that individual special power that Krishna has given to each one of us has to be harnessed, has to be utilized. And that can get triggered. That special power that each one of us have gets triggered in the association of devotees while listening to sessions like this, while having prasadam, while associating with the devotees. So all these dormant thing that is there will get triggered when we are in the proper association of Krishna consciousness. So please take advantage of these prayers, and you can also have your own prayers. Read the files I had earlier shared about the different prayers of great exalted personalities, and read the translations also. Then you will get an idea that what is the mood of this prayer. And every prayer is different and unique. Prahlad Maharaj prayers are very different from Dhruv Maharaj prayers, very different from Kunti Maharani's prayer, very different from Bhishma Pitamaha's prayers, from Shukdev Goswami's prayer. So each, prayer is having different moods. So you can choose whatever and you can chant them and sing them and understand them. Okay, so these are the few things that I just wanted to share today. And although we just covered one shloka today, but we had to touch upon some very important aspects. So that is why I covered a little bit more on the fifth and the sixth verse also. Any questions? Anybody has any questions? If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to ask. We can continue again from the next verse in the next session. Any questions?
Prabhuji,
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, as you mentioned, Lord Krishna will only make us remember him at the time of death only when he thinks that we are ready for liberation or whatever, when our karma balance is over. So, what I wanted to say is there was a verse in which you had previously said that whatever Krishna consciousness we have done or we have been able to achieve in this life, it gets carried forward.
Yes.
So we, at least whatever we have done towards him, at least that gets carried forward in our next life.
Yes, yes, very much.
So that whatever that credit balance will remain, so we can go forward from there, right? That's what I wanted to know.
Yes. There is only upward movement in Krishna consciousness. So
Okay.
when you actually practice Krishna consciousness, then you are going only step ahead. You are not going to take it back. It is a permanent bank account. Then what happens is Antkale Smaran, so that final thought at the point of that to remember Krishna, that's a solution that Krishna is giving. What is the secret? Secret is if you remember Krishna at the point of death, then you will go to Krishna, right? But to remember Krishna at the point of death, then there are many, many, many variables. What are the variables? One of the variable is, have you practiced thinking about Krishna all throughout your life? That is one factor. Another factor is to remember Krishna at the point of death. Do you have your prarabdha karma? Some more prarabdha karma, some karma balance is there. That is another factor. Another factor is, then is Krishna willing to take you at this moment? Or he sees your karma. Of course, he's ready to take us all the time, but he sees the karma and he says, okay, I'll not give you that remembrance now because although you are my devotee, you have to still wait. Just like Bhishma, they give an example of Bhishma in this particular situation. Although he was remembering Krishna, he was chanting Vishnu Sahasranama. At the point of death, Vishnu Sahasranama, can you imagine? And then still, some acharyas have commented that he had to wait for some more lifetime before he actually went back to home, back to Godhead. You see? So Krishna knows when to give us that Antakale Smaran. At the point of that, to give that remembrance of Krishna, he knows when to give. So at the same time, what is happening when you practice Krishna consciousness? It is getting carried forward all the time, but that karma is stopping. Another very interesting variable is, like I told you, the interference of the spiritual masters. Now, the spiritual master will take the responsibility of the karma. He will say, okay, that karma I will take of my disciple. That is causeless mercy. Then Krishna will say, okay, because you are my great devotee and you are my very dear devotee, the spiritual master, he will, on behalf of our spiritual master, accept us. You see, so many variables can be possible. To go back to whom, back to Godhead, all these different things come into play. That is your own endeavor, your own sadhana of remembering all the time Krishna. Then your karma comes into play. the mercy of the Guru comes into play, then finally the mercy of Krishna comes into play. So many things come into play, but the starting point is our own sadhana. The first point is our sadhana. Then that sadhana will slowly help us to accept a spiritual master, and then spiritual master will intensify our sadhana further, and then gradually, by the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, we will get liberated from this material world. But whatever, swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat, the smallest endeavor in Krishna consciousness can protect us from the greatest dangers. So just imagine Krishna is saying, even swalpam api asya dharmasya, little dharma can save you from great dangers. If you actually perform devotional service all the time, then you can see what great results that we can achieve. So the dynamics are uh, so much in Krishna consciousness that we really cannot ascertain that, okay, this lifetime I can go, I can get liberated. No, it's not in our hands. Liberation is only in the hands of Prabhupada and Krishna, the spiritual master and Krishna. It is not dependent on us. Liberation is not dependent on us. But our Krishna consciousness is carried forward all the time.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I also wanted to know that, for example, if we were following a particular, let's say, a particular spiritual master, not as such a spiritual master who is alive or any thing like that, if we were
Yeah.
reading about a certain spiritual master whom we felt attached to, is it okay to also keep reading about him still when we are practicing Krishna consciousness?
Yes, actually, what happens is, you see, there is somebody as Shiksha Guru and there is a Diksha Guru. So, Shiksha Guru means all those who help you in your Krishna consciousness, in your bhakti, who give you that knowledge of Krishna and spirituality, they're all called Shiksha Gurus. That means you acquire knowledge from them, you get to know about spirituality from them. But whereas Diksha Guru is one where to whom you surrender. You completely surrender to the Diksha Guru. That means you accept him as the spiritual master, and then you follow the sadhana principles that he has set for you. And he takes the responsibility of taking you back to home, back to Godhead. That is the key point. A Shiksha Guru cannot take you back to home, back to Godhead. Only a Diksha Guru, one to whom you have surrendered, your tan, man, mano, buddhi, everything you have surrendered to him, that Diksha Guru will actually take you back to home, back to Godhead. That is the difference. So in our life, we should have both Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. Now, all the devotees that you meet in ISKCON, they can all become your Shiksha Gurus. Like you are coming here in one way because you are receiving this knowledge through this medium of my body. Okay, I can actually represent, because I'm representing Prabhupada, can be Shiksha Guru. We can only act as Shiksha Guru, but I cannot take the responsibility of taking you back to Godhead. It is only Prabhupada. So then what happens is, then you have to go to the Acharya, accept that spiritual master. So you can have lot of Shiksha Gurus. Many times even a child can act like a Shiksha Guru. Many times there is a possibility that you can learn from different animals. There is actually the Avadhuta Brahmana. There is an example of a Brahmana, Avadhuta Brahmana, in the Bhagavatam 11th canto. In that 11th canto, so many different examples: a pigeon, a snake, a crow, everybody become a kind of a guru. So these are all different types of Shiksha Gurus. But Diksha Guru is where you completely accept him as your heart and soul. You surrender to that spiritual master. That is the Diksha Guru. That is what we should understand. That we should know. That is extremely important to accept a spiritual master, a Diksha Guru. So for us now, Prabhupada is the Diksha Guru, because how do we get this Rasagnadas as my name? Is because I have accepted spiritual master as Prabhupada as my Diksha Guru. So that is how, when you understand these principles of Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru, then you will understand that yes, there is a point in life that we should all have a Diksha Guru who will take us back to home, back to Godhead. That responsibility he takes. That is the difference. So there is a lot to talk on this aspect of gurus. Again, it's a very, very important topic. How to accept a guru and who should be the guru. Many things are the qualifications of a guru, the qualifications of a disciples. All these things have to be understood in proper context. Very important. We'll have a discussion on this. Very important discussion. And
Thank you,
just
Prabhuji.
yesterday, sorry, Mataji, what's your question?
No, no, I just said thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, very nice. And Vinodji here on YouTube is asking, Prabhuji, it will be wonderful if you can have a session on how to pray. Yes, definitely. We will have a session on how to have offer our prayers. That will be very nice. We should actually have a session on prayers. We will have it definitely. And I was just wanting to share. Let me see if I can share that. Actually, yesterday, my sister also took a step forward in accepting Prabhupada as the spiritual master. Actually, my brother-in-law just 2 weeks ago, he got initiated, and he got his name as Anant Vilas Das Adhikari. So he became Anant Vilas Das just in the month of Feb. He got initiated, and then just yesterday, my sister was in Vrindavan, and even she actually is taking the different levels of the sadhana, the Prabhupada Ashraya program. We call this as Prabhupada Ashraya program because it is Prabhupada through whom we actually um, accept this process of Diksha. So I'll just try to share just 1 second. So I was very happy actually. She was visiting Vrindavan, and now she's at Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and evening she has a flight back to Pune from Delhi. So very interesting this process. Actually, I want all of you to go through this process of Ashraya program. You can see this is our temple vice president, senior vice president Chandrapati Prabhu in Vrindavan. There was Gaur Purnima day before, and yesterday she accepted one level of Ashraya program from the Vrindavan Chandrodaya Mandir, which is again the branch of ISKCON Bangalore. It's a very massive structure. It is one of the tallest temple in the world, and it's going to be the tallest religious structure in the world. It's very massive project that is coming up in Vrindavan. We want to make Vrindavan as the Vatican City of India. So it's going to be one of the major attractions in India in the coming years. So it is very tall. It's a skyscraper temple actually, and there are these processes which you all can participate. You can all become serious in Krishna consciousness through this Ashraya levels, and one fine day you all can actually become disciples of Prabhupada. So now there is a lot of requests coming from many devotees to take them to Vrindavan to have this Vrindavan Yatra. They have been asking me. So looks like the COVID situation is slowly coming down. So hopefully October, November, we are actually planning to visit Vrindavan. So by June, May, June, I will confirm because we need to book the tickets and everything. So once everything is finalized by June, I will keep you updated. And if anybody is interested, let me know. Then we can plan accordingly. And October, November, during Deepavali time, during the beginning of Kartik month, we will try to visit Vrindavan. So it will be a great experience visiting Mathura, Vrindavan, and we all together can understand. We can go to different places in Vrindavan, like Mathura, the birthplace where Krishna was born, and Gokul, where he was transferred, and the pastimes of Yashoda binding little Krishna. Then Yamuna River is there. Then going to Nandagram, then Barsana. Many places are there to visit in Vrindavan. There are so many temples in Vrindavan. So there's different Leela studies of Krishna we can actually visit. So October, November, we are planning. So I'm just keeping you informed so that you're aware. So if you're interested, then you can start planning it from now. And June, by May end or June, we will start planning vigorously and give you the exact dates of when we are visiting Vrindavan Yatra. Okay. So with this, we will end the session today. Thank you so much for joining, and we will continue again next Sunday. Take care. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.